who was just 10 years old and denied permission for an abortion by the Indian Supreme Court last month, has given birth to a baby girl. The child is not aware that she's given birth.
In today's video, we're going beyond the realm of reality TV and social media famous teen parents.
Но не се ли притесняваш, че е много млада за теб?
Да ви кажа, притеснявам само какво да направили по тази граница.
We're used to seeing teen pregnancies on screen and online. Let's now delve into history and talk for today's subscriber pick. One of our subscribers shared an image with us that has left us stunned. Underage pregnancies are always shocking, but in this image we see a young girl who appears to be thriving in her role as caretaker. Now, in 1991, the birth rate for females aged 10 to 15 years was 1.4 births per 1,000 girls in the United States. Since then, this rate has steadily declined and fallen to just 0.2 by 2021. So do you believe the girl in the photo is actually pregnant and is posing with her husband and kid, or are they just siblings to an older mother? What do you think? The answers await. Now on to the next topic. Number 5. Colombian mother. Time and time again, despite multiple movements and conversations about safeguarding children, many girls succumb to predatory men. So, when news broke out that a 10-year-old Colombian girl gave birth to a baby girl via cesarean section, people were shocked. The girl was from an indigenous community in the Colombian department of La Guajira, in the town of Manor. People only found out when the girl arrived at the hospital in enormous pain from her contractions. News outlets later reported that despite her young age, authorities chose not to prosecute the case since the girl was from the indigenous Wayuu tribe, which is free to govern itself. Even the doctors couldn't believe their eyes. To them, girls should be playing with dolls at that age, rather than having babies. They were especially concerned about what changes and possible complications her body may have suffered due to this sudden pregnancy. We hope the girl found justice and a great support system to take care of her. But some girls meet a grim fate that is discovered far too late. Number 4. Another Colombian mystery. Colombia once again became the talk of the town when news of a minor's pregnancy became public. This discovery happened when a Colombian police officer spotted a girl walking around with a bulging stomach. At first, he suspected her stomach had been stuffed with illegal substances given the drug epidemic going on in the country. He was rightfully suspicious. Except when he took her to the doctors, they found out she was 32 weeks pregnant. Upon further inspection, they discovered that the girl had been sent by her mother months ago, unaccompanied, to a drugstore. Sadly, the pharmacist present there assaulted her. The girl was too stunned and naive to realize what had happened to her and carried about her life. Eventually, the truth came to light, and she was admitted to one of the major hospitals in the city. Thankfully, no further harm came to the girl and her child. Now, we'll talk of a case from the 90s that puzzled everyone who heard of it. Number 3. Surprise pregnancy. In 1993, news broke out about a young girl's pregnancy. Back then, a representative from the hospital verified that an 8-year-old girl came to their premises and gave birth to a healthy child. Dr. Eva Rodriguez Arias, who was in charge of her, revealed to the world that both the mother and the baby were in perfect condition following the cesarean section. This was an unusual occurrence that took place within the halls of Guadalajara Hospital. The baby was just a bit over 7 pounds and was born following a typical 9-month pregnancy. Later on, the doctor revealed that the girl was from northern Mexico, and her parents did not want her identity released. But news agencies were able to find out that the mother was named Zulma Guadalupe Morales. Sadly, the father's identity, according to hospital officials, is unknown. Now, we'll talk about a recent case that caused quite an outrage. Number 2. The Ohio case. Back in 2022, the Supreme Court overturned the landmark Roe v. Wade decision that secured the constitutional right to abortion. And that's when things became tricky, because just a few days later, horrifying news broke out that a 27-year-old man named Gerson Fuentes had been accused of sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl who had to travel from Ohio to Indiana for an abortion. The case immediately became national news, and that brought the Constitution under massive scrutiny in the aftermath of Roe v. Wade's overturning. At 6 weeks of pregnancy, the little girl not only had to bear the trials of pregnancy, but even had to take a long journey to save her life. Abortions are officially illegal in Ohio beyond 6 weeks of pregnancy, with no exceptions for cases of assault or incest. Safe to say, people have been having a hard time coming to terms with these new laws. Unfortunately, many people even doubted the authenticity of the story, but there were senators who refused to let the news die down. Here's to hoping the states come up with laws that protect people of all age groups from all sorts of crimes. But there is one more story that still upsets people globally. Number 1, the Chandigarh story. In 2017, India was rocked by a media frenzy surrounding a 10-year-old girl who became pregnant because of her older relative. Despite efforts to seek an abortion on her behalf, the Supreme Court's decision, citing potential risks due to the advanced stage of pregnancy, left the family devastated. The child, known for her cheerful persona, love for art, and favorite cartoons, faced this grim reality without full understanding. One day, she couldn't tolerate the pain in her tummy anymore and decided to talk to her parents. When they tried to piece together what was going on with her, they thought she had a huge stone in her stomach. Eventually, they decided to go to the doctor, and that's when they realized that she was nearing term pregnancy. At first, they were heartbroken, but quickly decided to opt for ways to terminate the pregnancy. Sadly, the Supreme Court acknowledged these concerns, but ultimately ruled in favor of the pregnancy's continuation. It was decided that she'd undergo a cesarean section, and the family expressed their desire to have no involvement with the child. So, the Welfare Committee took over, and we hope the mother was given a chance at a normal life. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Youssef Nasser Hassan and Garam Rita Muhammad. Youssef Nasser Hassan and Garam Rita Muhammad is from Egypt. Youssef Nasser is 12 years old, and Garam Rita is 11 years old. The couple's parents said that the boy and girl had been in love since they were born. This engagement happened while Youssef Nasser and his families were celebrating Youssef Nasser's eldest son's lavish wedding party. At that time, Youssef Nasser's father decided to double the joy by announcing the engagement of his youngest son, who was 12 years old. Jose Griggs and Jayla Cooper. A beautiful 9-year-old girl from South Lake, Texas got married. Her parents said it was her final wish before she died. Jayla Cooper was suffering from last-stage leukemia, and doctors say that she only has a couple of weeks more to live. The little girl knows this, and she asked her parents to do this one last thing for her. They agreed and organized a beautiful wedding for their daughter. She married her friend Jose Griggs, whom she met in a medical hospital, and he was also diagnosed with leukemia. This ceremony created a lot of buzz on the internet, with some saying that what happened was a sin, while others expressed sympathy and compassion for the little girl. Bonnie Buckland and Leslie Conley. Bonnie Buckland and Leslie Conley are from Britain. Leslie Conley may be too young to vote, drink alcohol, or drive, but 16-year-old Leslie Conley is old enough to wed his childhood sweetheart. This teen becomes Britain's youngest groom after marrying just 18 days after his 16th birthday. On August 7th, Leslie married long-term girlfriend Bonnie Buckland, who was 17, at a lavish ceremony in Swindon, Wiltshire. Eileen Patterson and Harrison Grier. 5-year-old Eileen Patterson fulfilled her dying wish to be a bride when friends and family put on a heartwarming fairytale ceremony for her and her best friend. Eileen Patterson was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, a rare form of childhood cancer. Her last wish was to marry her best friend Harrison Grier, who was 6 years old. So her family set up a ceremony to marry her and her bestie, Harrison Grier. Her dream came true when the pair exchanged necklaces and were declared best friends forever in a ceremony attended by family, friends, and a cast of costumed princesses and superheroes. Teen marriage in China. These photos of two allegedly 16 years old dressed in wedding gowns and suits at what seemed to be a wedding scene have triggered heated discussion on Chinese social media. The two teen who was firstly reported to be 13 years old groom and a 16-year-old bride. The couple, both from southwest China's Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, claimed to have known each other for over a year. Both have dropped out of school. Aside from clarifying their ages into an online statement, the two also refuted netizens' speculation that the marriage is due to the bride's pregnancy. The 16-year-old bride said, "The marriage between us is just inevitable after knowing each other for over a year. So we just hold the ceremony and we'll get a marriage certificate after we reach our legal age." Hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.